Morning, guys. Welcome to day number 14 of my Confidence on Camera challenge. I've had a few days off. As mentioned the other day, I was down on the south coast, and it was a little bit difficult to do some videos. I love going down, but it's a bit full on. But I strangely missed it, so I'm glad to be back here in Leeds in my living room today, to do our next video. So today we're going to talk about a challenge that I've overcome, and largely about failure as well. Is something that we tend to shy away from. We don't celebrate failure as much as we celebrate success. So I've gone through many challenges in my life, as I'm sure you have too. It's a fact of life. It's part of life, isn't it? The challenge and failure I'm going to focus on today is the closure of my business last year. Um, when you're a musician, or you're a baker, or you're a nurse, or you're a coder, or whatever. We tend to build that when we do it for so long, or when we're so passionate about something. We tend to build that into our identity. That's who we are. That's what we do. That's our mark on the world. My business was very much that for me. I was in the fitness industry for a full time for a short period of time. I've referenced that previously in videos, and then I fell into HR quite early in my career. I was 22, 23, something like that. And I co-developed Juice at the University of Sheffield, and I worked on that as an internal sort of consultant to the wellbeing team at the organisation solely for a couple of years. And then we spun out into a company, and then I ran the company, and the company was just shy of 8 years old when we closed it last year. So the vast majority of my career was dedicated to Juice, both at the University of Sheffield and various other places too. And it was very much me. I'd spent most of my career doing this. It was something that I saw as my career until the day that I retire, whenever that is. And that's what I saw it as. I saw it as something that I can do forever, really. And then it ended. It was very it was me. It was very much me, and then it ended. And I got to a point where I decided the company was going to close, and then I had to decide who I was again. I had to think about what I do, what mark I leave on the world, what I'm going to dedicate myself to. And when you're facing unemployment, and when you're facing closure of your business, and then that big what next question, it's a really scary and really challenging place to be. It's a big question to ask yourself. Who am I? What do I do? What benefit do I make on the world? And that was and at that point I didn't do anything. I didn't benefit the world in any way other than being there, of course. I didn't bring anything to the world, and I didn't really know the answer, and it was really, really, really scary. And I eventually went in. I thought one of my favorite things from being in the fitness industry was delivery. Talking to people, being in front of people, helping them with their goals, whatever it may be. I really enjoyed that. When I started at the University of Sheffield, I was in a strategic role, but I also, because I was qualified to do so, I also did health checks. I was able to sit in front of employees and talk to them about their well-being and learn more about that and help them with that. I really enjoyed that. And then I really enjoyed being in that strategic position, not a tech provider. I really enjoyed sitting in that room with that director, with that well-being lead, with that HR function, whoever. I really enjoyed being in that room and working with them on a problem and trying to overcome that problem and think of solutions, being quite creative. I really enjoyed that. And I thought, you know what? That's what I want to do. That's what I like. That's a value that I can add. I've been along, I've been on this journey for a long time now. I've worked in well-being for 20 years. that's what I can do, and that's the value that I want to add. So that's when I created Joy Junction, and I saw this challenge and failure as an opportunity to grow. My big lessons from EGL, from Juice, that I now work into my and I work into my day to day, is first, make sure everything that you do is written down. I won't go into too much detail, but that stung us a lot with our IT system. It stung us, and so get everything written down and get everything formal. We did it in an old gentleman's handshake on a lot of things. Make it formal. It's worth it. Second is, don't rest on your laurels. We won loads of awards for what we did. I didn't capitalize on them. I just assumed that people would hear about it and that people would come to us. And of course, the odd one did, but majority didn't. And I rested on my laurels far too long with that. And then third, kind of connected to resting your laurels, is get yourself out there. Go and talk to as many people as you can. Use LinkedIn, use emails, use newsletters, drive all of these. Really try and get stuck in and meeting as many people as possible. Because if you're working on a 5% conversion ratio and you've contacted 100 people, that's only 5 leads that you have. If you make that 1,000 people, your potential leads increase dramatically. And so we get out in front of people. So that's a bit of a story on failure and challenge for me, and I would love to hear yours. Please do share them. Again, a bit of a broken record here. Make sure you're asking those questions for day 16, 17, whatever day it is. It's coming up soon. So any questions you might have of me, please do put them in the comments below. I do have a bit of an idea in the background. If nothing comes, because there are only a handful of views here, which is fine, no big deal. But if you have a particular question, fire in the questions in the comments below, and we'll get to that. And I will leave you for day number 14, and I'll see you tomorrow for day number 15. Have a good Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Have a good Wednesday. Bye-bye.